It's JayCee Chandler back again. I got a bunch of stuff going on this table. Let me move it up a little. I hope you guys are doing well today. Let's see. It is 4 o'clock on Sunday, June 1st, and I am here for the 4 p.m. Create Along. I hope you are ready to join me. I posted a little sneak peek of what we were getting ready to create today. So maybe you have some of these supplies, and if you do, feel free to create along. If you are joining me live, please type in the comments where you're watching from. I'd appreciate it. All right, let's see. I see Rebecca joining. Hello, how are you? Where are you joining in from? I hope you're having a great day. Let's see. All right, I have everything. I believe I have everything. So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some rings. I had a show last weekend and I did pretty good. I did have a couple of, hey, UK. Thanks for joining from the UK, Rebecca. I had some young ladies come into my tent and they wanted some rings, but I didn't have any small enough to fit them. Hey, Pat, joining us from Tennessee. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. So I was practicing some rings in smaller sizes. Like that is definitely still too big for the young lady that came into my tent. But she inspired me to try and make some smaller sizes. This was one of my first attempts, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's got some scratches on there. So, yep, that one's not going to the table next time I go out. But prior to the event, I created these beauties, and I had a couple of you ask how I made them. So I'm going to recreate one or two of these. And really, this is what we're going to be working on. Specifically, I want to make a couple different rings like this. So if you have the materials, so you're going to need some wire. I have 6 different wires, but most of them are 18 gauge wire. And I'll be working with these colors. I'm going to try and make at least this many rings. All right. I don't want this to be a video that is too long, but I want to make sure that, you know, we at least get some variations. So you're going to need some cutters. You're going to need some pliers. I have some just regular flat nose basic pliers. If you don't have a ring mandrel, a Sharpie, or some kind of marker that will give you a round surface, but the ring mandrel will give you various sizes. I have many different variations of ring mandrels, so I'll be using this one and another one. You might want a ruler, but you may not need that. As long as you have, I have 14 inches of each one of these wires cut. I'm probably not going to need all 14 inches, but I just wanted to make sure that I had enough, depending on the size that you're going to make. All right. If you know someone that would like to see this video, I'd appreciate it if you could share it and let them know that this video is here. I'd appreciate it. I want to say thank you before I get started. Thank you to all of the subscribers. I want to say thank you to everyone that pushes play. If you are not a subscriber, I still appreciate you for watching. I love seeing your comments. Please go ahead and comment. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for you for that as well. If you'd like to see when I have videos posted, please Subscribe, number one, and then two, hit the notifications button. That way you can see when I'm on. So here's two more of these stones. They're either manganese, some people call them. Now, I don't think these are howlite, but it doesn't matter what stone you use. I like this one because it was a rough edge and I could wrap it just a little bit. So I don't know if I can recreate this because I was playing around on this one. So let's see what happens. I'm going to move some stuff. A ruler would be handy too, just to make sure if you're trying to make some of all of your rings the same size. Just make sure you have a ruler. But because mine are already cut, I'm going to put the ruler to the side. And let's go ahead and get started. Now, first let me tell you, I have different gauges of wires. All of the ones that I just showed you are 18 gauge. Then I have one that is, I think this one's a 16 gauge, and it's aluminum. The other ones were copper, coated copper, I think. And then I have a 20 gauge, which is the thinnest one that I'm working with today. So that's what you see here. And I think I like working with 18 gauge better because it just has, it's in between and it's a more sturdy feel as opposed to the 20 gauge. Can't really see the difference here, but you can feel it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to see, let's see. I have this on the gold and I have it on the bronze. So let's put it on, I'm gonna try this one in copper. All right, let's see if we can do that. So let's move these out the way. I hope you guys had a great holiday, Memorial Day weekend. I had some time off and I was very, very happy about it. I took about I had a total of 5 days off. So I just made this flush, this end flush. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. I'm trying to make a U so that this will go on there as best as possible, and then I can get it down to the center. So doing this now, again, I only made this ring one time and that's the one that you saw. I was playing around, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Now this mandrel has a little divot in there, which it helps when I'm trying to hold my stone still. And I don't know what size I want, but you always want to start smaller. So let me sit this down so I can wrap this around. I'm going to start smaller. Let's see what size this is. This one is a 7. And it's a little too small for my finger. So let's see if I can do another 7. All right, so if I want a 7, I'm gonna have to go a little bit smaller because it will stretch. I can stretch it. So what I'm doing is I'm holding this stone right here and then I'm crossing the wires on the bottom. So I'm gonna flip it over and I'm crossing them over one more time, right? This is a little tricky if you haven't done this before. So I'm going to do that. How did I do this ring? I'm going to then, let me switch hands because I'm right-handed. Make sure they're nice and snug. And I'm going to wrap this over this way and wrap this over this way. So I want them opposites. But because this is a stone that I really want to wrap, let me turn this stone over. I want the flat part down there. There we go. So I'm going to wrap this around one more time. But I want this to come across this way and this to come across that way. So I went around the top And I'm going to bring them down one more time so I can do another wrap. I'm going to wrap this around right there and wrap this around right there. Pat, I see your the divot trick is never, yeah, that's what I use it for. I'm not sure if that's what it's for. But that's how I use it. So let's see what size that is. That's gonna be a little bit big, but let's see what happens. So I'm gonna wrap this in. You wanna hold the wire down as flat as possible when you wrap it. Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press this down so it doesn't slide. So that can stay flat right there. And then I'm gonna do this one the same way. Flip it in. And then I like to pull it straight up. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is this will try to twist. So I'm going to put this back onto the ring mandrel. So it looks like it's at a 7 right now. I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to flip this over. And try to let this lay flat right next to this one. So you see a wrap there, and I'm going to push it in, and then I want this one to lay flat as well, and then I'm going to push it in. So now they are facing opposite directions. And what I did on the other ring is I twisted. Once I got these bent over a little bit, I'm going to do one more wrap on this side, one more wrap on this side, and then I'm going to tighten this. So let's see what size we're working with right now. All right, that's at a 7. That's what I wanted. So sometimes you get lucky, but I'm going to wrap this in one more time. Keep your shank flat, and then I like to pull it straight up so that it touches here. So I'm going to do it again. Now I don't do rings often because my hands tend to get fatigued. So there's that. Let me do this one more time. I don't know if you know, if you don't work with wire often, you need to keep in mind that it does get hard to work with the more you manipulate it, which is why my hands get fatigued, because it is getting harder to work with. All right, so back onto the mandrel. I like to twist it to give it a nice little roundness to it. There it is. It's at a 7. Now I'm going to start twisting the wires up here. Let me move this over. I want this to come over here. So this is all in how you want to do it. Nothing I'm doing is etched in stone. There we go. I moved it over. And I'm going to go ahead and I want this to come over here. So let's see. I'm going to just give it a twist. No secret, just twisting it. And then this one, I'll twist this way. So it's just keeping the stone in. And what I'm going to do also is I'm going to mash down to bend the wire in a little bit more to touch the stone. So it's just how you want it to look. By the time you make your ring, you're going to know what you want it to look like. So I'm tightening that. I'm going to pull this in. And there's that one. So now the question is, do I want, let me tighten this in. The question is, do I want more wraps? And I don't think I do. There we go. It's at a 7.5. Let me see if I can wrap one more time. I don't want to spend too much time on this style, but I wanted to show you guys because I did get questions on it. Show you how I made that one. So now I'm going to press this flat, and I have 3 wraps. So I'm going to do this one. And it's going to be different with each stone that you use, so keep that in mind. See how that's twisting? You want to flatten it out and flatten that out. And then I'm going to squeeze this a little. And then I'm going to cut it. So let me do this. Push it down. It looks kind of wonky right now, but the spiral one is what I'm really looking forward to doing. And then here's that. So let me cut off these wonky ends. There's a lot of videos online that can show you how to make rings. I am not an expert on making rings. I just decided to play around, and something came out that I liked. So let's do this. I'm pressing that piece down that I just cut to keep it from sticking. And I'm going to press this one down. Feel to see if there's any sticky parts. Let me press this down. There we go. There's one. Now, that's probably a size 7 now. There it is. I can always stretch it if I want, but I don't want to. There's that. So I'm not going to do 2 of these. I'm just going to let this one stay. And that's how I did a wire wrapped bead. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really, really love experimenting. Let me see if I can close this up a little bit. There we go. So I love experimenting with doing this. Like I have some scratches there, so, and I might need to trim that a little bit. So just be careful when you're cutting your wire that you don't want anything that's gonna cut anybody when they put it on. So I'm gonna work with that one a little bit more and see if I want to take it to the market. But here's what I really wanted to make more of, and I'm gonna try and make some smaller ones. Hello, hi from Missouri. Thank you for joining. J9 Branded Jewelry DIY. Thanks for joining. We're making rings, and this is the style that we're getting ready to work on right now. So let's see what's gonna happen. If I can do this without making a hot mess. Now, I'm gonna start with this one because it's the thicker wire and it will get hard faster and my hands will give out on me. My hands are fatigued. That's because, you know, I've been trying some designs on making the rings. Like this is a 3 wrap. All right, so let's see. This is 16 gauge aluminum. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna touch these 2 points, and then I'm gonna press this down right in the center. It's just a little trick I saw on one of the other channels to just kind of let the, I have a steel, a heavy ring mandrel, so if I want to just let it drop, I can do that. And there's the center. You find the center the way you want, but go ahead and make sure you're at the center of this. And I'm going to use this mandrel one more time. This size, what size is this? This is a 7.5, which obviously is my size. All right. Nice, and this is a sturdy ring. All right, so 7.5. Let's see if I can make a smaller one. So what I'm going to do is start at the 6, and we're going to wrap it again like we did the other one. But what I want you to notice is one is on one side and the other one. So you're wrapping it like that, right? And I want to bring it up. Now instead of 3, I'm going to have 2 here, right? And I'm going to go ahead and basically you're going to wrap these around like this, twist it. Okay? Now because I want you to see what I did, twist it like you're doing a twist tie and have them going in opposite directions, and then you're going to do that again. Right? Press down, and you're going to do this again, and you're going to go around. Now one thing that I do, and I'm going to get my steel ring mandrel out because I want to hammer this down a bit to flatten it just a little, right? And then I'm going to continue to go as wide as I want on this pinwheel. I think I'm going to stop probably right here. Nope, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to stop right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it one more time just for me. And so you got a flat surface right here. Not quite so flat, but it's not poking up. So there's your pinwheel, right? And this is a size, okay, right now it's a 5.5, which is pinky size for me. So what I'm going to do, because I want to wrap this, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. What I'm going to do is to show you how I got the wrap, which is exactly how I got the wrap on this one. So I'm going to bend this down just so that I can make sure that it doesn't into like a angle, right? I'm going to bend this one down as well. So now it's bent like that. Right? Now if I want to wrap it, I'm gonna have to bend this. I don't know if I want to wrap it because it's so long. If it were a shorter one, then I probably would. Let's see what I'm not gonna wrap it. I'm going to cut this. I'm gonna wind up tucking it in under here. So let me show you what I'm talking about. You can always cut longer, but be careful when you do cut so that you'll have enough. That is definitely way too long, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit more. And now I'm going to turn this in and tuck it under the ring. See that? I'm going to squeeze this down. And now it's tucked. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. It's a lot less work than what I was going to do. And when you have a thicker wire, like I said, they get harder faster. So tucking that, and I think I like this way better. It's easier on my hands. And so there's that. It's still a small ring, but I'm going to go ahead and do one step further, and I'm going to go in here and push it down. I'm going to give it a little tap so it'll push those inside wires into the top of the ring. And there's that. So now you have your pinwheel ring. What do you guys think? Nice and easy. You can sell these for like $5 or whatever you want to sell them for. Let me see if I can squeeze this in. I don't know if I even want to mess with it. I'm not gonna mess with it because I don't want to scratch it. You like that, Pat? Thank you. Now, one of the things you can do if you are interested, see, like there's no scratches, it's tucked in. I think I'm gonna do another one in the same style. Yeah, that's tucked in, no scratching. I'm gonna turn it around and I'm gonna hit it a little bit so that all of it is about the same size. And make sure, because this is a cone shape mandrel. So now I've got a beautiful aluminum sturdy, hello Miss Her Rose, thanks for joining, a beautiful sturdy, even though it's aluminum. And if you want to make it harder or you know, more sturdy, you can by hammering the metal, and it's called work hardening. And this is a nylon hammer. I'm not hitting hard. I'm just giving it a nice tap so that it'll work harden it. Okay? That I like. One of the things I wanted to do was to see how we can embellish this. So let's see if I can do one more. I'm not going to do it with this one. I worked with the thicker aluminum because it was the harder one to work with. So we're going thinner now. Just because my hands, you know, rather work with the harder to work with than first than to, you know, have the hands give out on me. So this one is this color and it's 18 gauge. So I'm going to do the same exact style. I'm going to use the trick of using the weight of my mandrel, and I'm going to let that show me the center. So there's the center. There we go. All right, so and I'm going to use the lighter one because it's easier to pick up. I'm going to try to make the same size. So let's see if we can make a 6 again. Whenever you want to make a size, you have to go down a size. So I'm going to start at the 5. And I'm going to wrap it again. Keep in mind, you don't want them to overlap each other. See that? Don't want them to overlap. So here's this one. I'm going to tighten this. And then I'm going to bring these up again. Tighten them. Oops, be careful. It's slipping out my hands, y'all. All right, so I'm tightening. And then we're going to do like we did before. We're going to twist it like a twist tie. I'm going to move it. See how you did that? Twist it like a twist tie. One direction, the other direction. And that's at a 5.5. See if I can do. Want to make it tight. So we're going to go back this way. All right, so now we're going to start wrapping this into a pinwheel like we did the other one. Wrap this. Go down that way. Make this one. Just keep twisting. one at a time so you can make sure you're getting it. I want them to lay right next to each other, right? So there's that. I'm gonna give it a little hammer. Whoops, not on this one because it's plastic. Give it a little hammer so it'll flatten it down a little bit. All right, so it's at a 5.5. I'm just making them smaller so that I'm gonna show you a trick on how you can make them bigger at your show. Excuse me. If you want to make them just a little bit bigger, you can always hammer them down on your steel ring mandrel. So this one, I'm gonna stop right here because I don't want it to start going under the other one. So here we go. I take this off, and I bent the other one down into an angle last time, but I'm going to tuck this in. We're gonna wrap this one, right? But I'm gonna hold it down and snatch it. I snatch it because it will then grab right there, right at the end there. And then because it's coated, I gotta be careful. I give it a nice little squeeze so that it will flatten into the ring band, or shank they call it. So I'm going to tuck this side in, and I'm going to use my pliers this time to kind of snatch it. That's just my words. I like bend it really, really quickly, right? And then I'm going to tap, tap, tap until it's flat. And I see my shank trying to twist and go over itself. So we're at a 5.5 right now. We got one wrap here and one wrap here. I'm going to push this up just a little, and then this one up just a little, and then I'm gonna wrap them again one more time. So we're gonna bend it down and twist it inside. Now this is getting harder to work with. This is an 18 gauge. Tap, tap, and squish. Whoops, just made a big mess. I squeezed it and I slipped. It happens. Flattening this down. And there's that. So we got this. 2 wraps. Put this one in. Go ahead and pull it with my hands, with my pliers. There we go. So I'm going to flatten that. And then I'm going to cut these. Now, on the one before, we tucked it in. So let's see if that's what I want to do on this one. Let me go ahead and squeeze this close. I just want to get those two to touch. And let's see, like that one's touching. All right, so I'm gonna need to lift this up just a little bit, and then I'm going to clip it so that I can make sure, oh, that's not closed in. There we go. Make sure that I have enough to tuck. So it's up to you how much you want, but make sure you have enough to tuck it in so it's not cutting anyone when you do. So that is going in, and then I'm going to cut this one, and then I'm going to tuck it in. Let me do it this way. All right, so now I'm going to put it onto the ring mandrel. Make sure that they are flat. Give it a little bit of a hammer. help my hands so I don't have to keep squeezing and twisting. And there's that. Let's see. No, there's that ring. There's nothing cutting under. You can see it's tucked in, right? Oop. It's tucked in nice. There's nothing gonna cut anybody. And you have a nice size ring. This is a pinky ring for me. It's got a nice thick band. Now if you want to make it bigger, let's see what size it is right now. If you have a metal mandrel and a hammer, that's a 5. You can make it bigger by hammering and kind of pushing it downward. Hammer and push at the same time. All right. This is not going to be much bigger, but it is going to get bigger than that size we just had. So let's see what size it is now. There it is. It's a little bit bigger. It's a 5.5. It was a 5 just a moment ago, so it's a slightly bigger ring. And then you can do that as much as you want, but I didn't want this to be too big. All right, so we got that one. This is what it looks like. I like it. This is what I made the other day. So let's try and make one more and see what we can do to maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna give you some ideas on how you can embellish them on top, okay? So let's do a copper one. Let me cut the end here and make sure it's flush. So I'm gonna take the wire and let the weight of the wire tell me where the center is. The weight of the mandrel tell me where the center, just a little trick. All right, so that's the center. We're gonna do another wrap, like spiral one. So I'm gonna use this one again. And I'm gonna use the divot for my finger to hold, and I'm gonna make this one a 6.5. So we're gonna twist it, and then twist again. This is gonna take some practice, guys. This is not, this wire, manipulating the wire, it just takes practice. And if you have tendinitis or anything like I deal with sometimes, it'll get challenging the more you do it in one session. That's just the reality of it, at least for me. So now I'm gonna make sure I got these even at the top, and then I'm going to cross them over. Remember, we're doing a, I'm gonna do it this way. We're gonna do it like a twist tie, but because my hands are feeling a little tight, I'm going to use my nylon pliers. If you have these, use them. I'm going to use my nylon pliers to twist tie this. All right, there we go. So there's that. I'm going to put it on this mandrel so I can hammer it down a little, just a little. This is a 20 gauge wire. We went to the first one we used, this was an 16 gauge. This one is an 18 gauge. Now we're working with a 20 gauge. We're gonna put this back on. I said I wanted it to be a 7. Let's see, it's gonna be a 6.5. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do our wrapping. I did something just a little different on this one, and let's see if it makes a difference. Hey guys, if you're watching live, please say hello and let me know where you're watching from. Twist that around. Twist that around. I'm holding this flat so that I can feel and make sure this doesn't go under the spiral. There we go. We're going to do this and this. So I'm switching hands because I want to make sure that I don't hide the camera. So that, and we're going to go here and here. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. Let's see if I can do one more. Somehow this one is a little longer, but that's okay. It's not going to mess up what we're doing. Now this wire is a little more flexible, so it's a little harder for me to work with right now. Isn't that something? It's a little too flexible for what I would like right now. But you choose what works best for you. All right, so we got this and we got this. Now let's see. It works good for bending it in and wrapping, so that is good, right? So you can wrap your wire a little bit easier. So there's that. And then I'm going to wrap this down in here. Yeah, this one's really flexible. So you can wrap it. Now let's get this back on the mandrel so we can make sure this is good. So we got this and we got this. All right, now let me press these down. I'm going to use the nylon pliers as well so I don't scratch this one. Oh, the nylon pliers is slipping. Okay, there we go. Flatten that. Flatten that. I'm going to bring this in one more time and wrap it one more time. And then I'll be done with my wrap. I'm going to flatten that down. And then I'm going to wrap this one in. And then I'm going to flatten that down. So we got 2 wraps on each side. And then I'm going to put this in here one more time so I can cut it. Now this is just one style of ring. I've made several different kinds before, and I think I like this style. It takes a lot more handwork for someone that deals with hand fatigue when I'm dealing with wire. And again, I've been messing around with this for a couple of days now, so my hands are just a teeny bit tired. All right, so I'm going to snip this so that it doesn't cut anybody under here. Snip it, and then I'm going to press it in. Let me go ahead and cut that just a little bit more. So this is going to be all up to you guys when you're making this. All right, get the right tool and press. And I use my mandrel to help me get these pressed in. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and press that in. Oops. So I'm going to use the mandrel to make sure what I just did doesn't cut anybody. So I'm going to hit that and hit that. Nothing cutting, and there's that. So we got this one, and this one. This is what we made today. All right? And And what else did we make? We made that one. So we made 4 rings. And here's what I wanted to show you guys. If you have rhinestones, you can actually put some on top here and embellish it. You might even want to do a circle, maybe go around it like that. Just an idea. What you guys think about that? Just an idea. You can put some rhinestones on the top, or you can do a flat bead and glue it on top there. Let me see if I can. That looks like it's sticking up. So you can put a flat half round bead on the top there, or you can put a flat rhinestone on here. Let me see. I have some rhinestones here. I'm not going to glue anything on, but I'm just trying to give you some ideas of how you can embellish the ring. Here's a rhinestone that you can actually glue that on top. Let me see what's in the comments. I see somebody, Pat, wow, thanks for taking the time to show us. You really made it easier to make it. Oh, thank you so much, Pat. That's what I'm here for. So there's that. There's a rhinestone option on here. You can put it on top, glue it on top. And now you've got a nice little center stone on there. Or you can put some rhinestone circle. You can do anything you want on the top there. Let's see. What else can you do? You can actually, look at that. So here's a different color metal. You can make some circles with some jump rings. Put some jump rings on top. Like that's a pink one. And you can build on top of the metal, the aluminum. There's another option. There's so many different things you can do with these to embellish them. I think that I'm going to try the rhinestone option, this one, and this one. And if I do, I will take a picture and show you guys. Do you think you'll try this ring? Let me know in the comments before we go. I really like this design. I believe I saw it on YouTube. I can't remember who I saw do this, but it's pretty simple. Once you get the rhythm of your ring making, you can probably shoot these out really quickly. You just gotta, you know, try to make the sizes that you want, do a variety, and you got some nice little pieces of quick selling items. All right, Pat, you gonna try it? Okay, Carol, you gonna try it? All right, very good. I would love to see your pictures. And I hope they do well if you sell them. I don't know. I'm thinking these can go for like $5. I don't know, $10, depending on what you do to them. All right, guys, I really appreciate you guys being here with me, nice and live, and giving me your feedback. I really appreciate it. All right, I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope you're going to go and create something amazing. Y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.